Shara Shara! Greetings everyone! I am your good gal from grade 11 Love, Ayla D. Daga. Now for this session, I will be discussing about fake news. But before that, I would like to read to y'all our objectives for today's session. So we have here our first objective, which is to distinguish and classify the different kinds of fake news and their characteristics. For our second objective, it is to define and differentiate misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation based on their intent and impact. And lastly, for our third objective, it is to learn practical ways and criteria on how to identify and spot misleading and false content. Now, how do we achieve our goal for today's session? Let us first define what is fake news. Now, fake news refers to the false or misleading information presented as fact. It is created to deceive the people or distort the truth. It has several categories such as misleading content, imposter content, fabricated content, false connection, manipulated content, false context, conspiracy theories, and myths. However, this all falls under the circle of the information disorder. Now, what is the information disorder? Information disorder is when information can be false and/or intended to harm others. Now, there are three main categories under this umbrella. This would include misinformation, malinformation, and of course, disinformation. Let us start with disinformation. It is when information is false and is deliberately shared to harm someone. This may include cyberbullying, hate speech, and political propaganda. Take a look at this. There was an allegation that claims that Vice President Sara Duterte had thrown a laptop at her spokesperson, Michael Poa, out of frustration towards the impeachment. This was later debunked by Poa themselves, stating that it was untrue, in which it is creative but false. It was also mentioned that no evidence was presented when this supposed incident had been reported, so it is highly likely that the report was fabricated. Here, this is intended to harm her reputation, thus being classified as disinformation. Moving on to misinformation, whereas it is still false information, however, any harm done by it is unintentional, as this is often shared without malicious intent, such as users who believe that a certain piece of information is true and decides to tell others without verifying the facts first. It may still cause confusion or misunderstanding, though this is generally considered to be the least harsh or impactful among the three. For instance, I'm sure you've come across these Chad scholarship posts when you scroll down Facebook, offering a large sum for stipends and allowances, usually providing a link for users to supposedly click and apply at the website. I've tried this myself personally, and I clicked on these links, which led me to a strange page that asked me for my details and such, like my full name, my age, my date of birth, and so on. Though, a gentle reminder, you should not do what I just did. Think before you click, guys. Anyways, as you can see here, multiple people have shared these posts, sometimes even tagging the people they know in the comments, so that it'll show up on their feed. Yet, did they even consider that these offers are actually true? Now, if we look at the first picture over here to the left, it was posted a year before, around September. supposedly for a scholarship in the current school year, which is the school year of 2026 to 2027. In the second picture, it reads that they offer 2K in allowance and that the deadline for the submission of applications are on May 15. Keep this in mind before we move on to the next slide. I'll give you guys 3 seconds. Okay. Now, as you can see here, this is the official Facebook page of the Commission on Higher Education. Now, if you were to look closely on the picture to the right, it states here that the deadline for the submission of applications is on June 30, 2026. Now, if we were to compare this to the previous slide, you may see that the deadline is stated to be on May 15, 2026. See the difference? Yeah, we can already see an inconsistency. Aside from that, we can see that the post by the Commission on Higher Education was made on May 6. Unlike the previous post that I showed you earlier, that it was made last year on September. There is a huge time gap, and I'm pretty sure you can already guess which is less likely to be true, given the fact that the previous post was not made by the official Facebook account of the Commission on Higher Education, but instead it is one of those Facebook groups, organizations, or maybe individuals who are posting these type of content in order to bait users with the large numbers to click on their links. And that is one thing you should be aware of. Another thing is that if you look through the website of the governmentph.com, it also states here that the CHED scholarship is offering 25,000 pesos and 4K pesos as allowance, which is a far cry from the big numbers I have just mentioned. It is not the 80,000 pesos, it is not the 120,000 pesos, nor is it the 60,000 pesos you may have seen on all of those posts. Now, moving on to our last category, which is the malinformation. Unlike the other two, malinformation is true information. However, this information is used to harm people. This may include scandal, wrong context, and blackmail. Here is an example, whereas 2 media men from Cagayan de Oro City has been doxxed. Now, what do I mean by dox? Dox is the process of anonymous organization or an individual publishing the documents of a victim online for everyone to see. This would include the media and the sensitive information of that said person. Now, the victims, we have Kong Corrales of Mindanao Gold Star Daily and Menzi Montes of RMN and IFM Cagayan de Oro, is worried because the sensitive information of their families has been released to the public as documents. And this makes them vulnerable to identity theft, scams, and even stalking. And this is one thing you should be aware of when your private information has been leaked online. So that should be all for our session actually. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. Thank you and goodbye!